guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our Saturday stash busters, and today what I've brought along is fabric. So it's a very small pile of fabric, I have to say, compared to my stash of fabric. So yeah, I'm not quite sure that I'm going to make much of a dent in this. But I thought let's come along and just try and use up a bunch of these kind of scraps of fabric. So I've got my iron plugged in because most of this has been kind of like screwed up around on my desk. So I'm going to kind of, yeah, get ironing some of this fabric, so you will see my awful ironing skills. And then we're just going to kind of make some little scrappy kind of pieces. Now, what I'm thinking is a bit like the fabric tip-ins, oops, that we've kind of made in the past. But maybe incorporate some paper bits with them. Oh, that didn't really want to iron very well, did it? Maybe incorporate some little paper items as well. So what I've got here is a bunch of these little papery items. Now, hopefully I will have these in my shop. And when I say in my shop, I'm really meaning on my website, because that's my goal for this year, is to get my website properly running a bit like a shop. But whether or not I do, I'm not sure. It's all kind of like, yeah, probably a pipe dream, and probably won't be, but that's the plan. So I'm just going to quickly coffee dye a bunch of these. Just, you know, so they've got a bit more of a vintagey kind of appearance. Okay. Whoops. Really not worrying at all about how these look. I mean, they're looking pretty awful how I'm actually, whoops, coffee dyeing them. But, you know, I think that all adds to the charm of these anyway. So, yeah, just going in with my coffee. Whoops. So, you know, some have been kind of like coffee dyed on the back. Some have been coffee dyed partially on the front, things like that. But it's all fine. It's all going to, you know, work out fine. Now, some of these fabrics, I might want to coffee dye the fabric as well, so that it has a bit more of a vintage kind of appearance, because some are quite sort of bright. So I'm going to have a look in a second at the fabrics and see what needs to be, you know, vintaged up. So let's just move these out of the way. I just wanted to very quickly, like I say, just get those done. So just move those out of the way. So for instance, here I've got this grey one. I mean, it's not a vintage fabric, it's a kind of modern fabric. To me, it looks like it's got quite a vintage kind of looking pattern. Oh, I've actually stamped on this one. But it's not, you know, it's not a vintage fabric. So just go around that, get some coffee dye onto there. And again, you know, really doesn't matter kind of too much how it is. So I've got this one, absolutely love this fabric, I have to say. So, yeah, again, just get my coffee onto there. Oops. Okay. Now, it might look like this is going on very dark. When it dries, this will be lighter. That being said, I am wondering whether I should go in with a little bit of water, because perhaps it's not going to be as light as I'm thinking. So let me just add some water to my coffee mixture. I don't know about you guys, but if you leave the coffee on your desk, I do find it kind of almost like concentrates over time. So I think that's what's happened, is mine, you know, it looks more concentrated than it sort of started out as. So, okay. Now, really, to coffee dye fabric, you know, I'm very quickly painting this with the brush. I would put this into, like, you know, a pan or something on the stove, or just even like a lasagna dish, you know, again in the garden, just exactly how I do when I coffee dye my paper. I'm just doing this very quickly now, just for the purposes of this video. This is not necessarily an efficient way to coffee dye fabric, and I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to pretend it is, or under any illusion that it is, or anything like that. But, you know, it will do. It will do. So, Okie dokie. And once you coffee dye the fabric, you know, it really does look quite different, I think. So this actually is some vintage fabric. So, I mean, it presumably started its life white. It's now quite, you know, sort of discoloured, but obviously not as discoloured as it is now that I've kind of splashed coffee all over it. So, and again, you know, I might or might not use this even. So, but it doesn't matter because I've then got it coffee dyed for a future project. So, okie dokie. Okay, that one, and then just bring in this. This was some bunting. I've used lots of this bunting. I've talked about it before. My sister had this bunting for her wedding, and yeah, I mean, that must have been years ago now, but she then, you know, she had all this bunting left and said to me, oh, you know, do you want that? Can you use it? Yes, I definitely can. Definitely can. So yeah, it's gone a really long way because actually, although the triangles, you know, they're not that big. I mean, actually, for our journals, they don't need to be very big, do they? So I have probably got enough fabric to keep us going now for this video. I mean, I'm probably being way over ambitious thinking I'm going to achieve even using, you know, half of what I've coffee dyed already, but I'll just, do I want to do any more? Just having a look. I've just got this little bit of green. I don't know what that will look like when it's coffee dyed, but we might as well give it a try. And then this one, which I did iron just now, I'm just going to coffee dye it and just see how that looks coffee dyed. So I might have coffee dyed this before. I'm feeling that maybe, I don't know, the appearance of it coffee dyed looks kind of familiar to me, but I might be wrong. Right, okay. And then I have got some other bits of fabric here which I've coffee dyed previously, so okay. Okay, right. So let's just quickly iron these off now. And the ironing, that's going to dry, you know, dry the coffee. Or dry the fabric. Oops, dry the fabric. So obviously it's pretty saturated at the moment, but that's fine. Oh, this one I wanted to probably use, so I thought perhaps that I would be able to get away with just dabbing it in the desk, but no, needed a bit more of an actual painting on. Okay, right. Okay, let me mop up the desk now. Get rid of all the coffee that's on there. Otherwise the desk's just so wet. It's, you know, not really very helpful. Every time that I come to try and iron something dry, it's just picking up more moisture from the desk. So, okay, right, let's go in. So, start with that one. This didn't feel like it really absorbed much of the coffee, to be honest. Okay. I just want to get them dry enough to actually be able to kind of, oops, make things with them. So, okay. And obviously, like I say, I mean, in an ideal world, I would obviously really put these out to dry. Would not be trying to use them so quickly. But, you know. Oh, dear. Okay. And then once they've dried a bit, you can obviously go back over them with the iron, and then that's, you know, that's a bit better. Oh, that was very dark, wasn't it? Very dark. Must have been really dark on the first few pieces, because it's pretty dark on those bits there, isn't it? Okay. Just take that out. Okay. Probably should be drying some of this on my with my heat tool, but I've unplugged my heat tool to be able to plug my iron in. So it was a kind of choice of iron or heat tool. So I've gone for the iron. You know, maybe I should have gone for the heat tool, I don't know. Or perhaps I should have done this previously, so before starting the video might have been probably the best thing. So yeah, I do apologise, I should have really done that. Anyway. Yeah, that coffee, very, very, very dark, isn't it? I'm really kind of regretting it a bit. Thinking, oh my goodness, this is going to look hideous now. It's really not looking very good at all. It's so dark. Okay. So I'm just going to bring in some of those paper bits as well that we can obviously, you know, iron the paper as well. So the fabric. Okie dokie. Just bring in those bits of paper. And it doesn't matter, you know, if your bits of paper tear slightly, that's all fine. It's all going to add to the, you know, the finished kind of look, hopefully. Got this horrible feeling about this video that these are just going to turn out absolutely dreadful. I'm not making a good job so far, am I? So, yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure, really, how these are going to be, but anyway, we'll persevere. We will persevere and just, you know, time will tell. Time will tell whether we make a success of these or not, really. So, yeah, it's drier. It's still not particularly dry, but drier. Okay. Honestly, nothing's ever quick, is it? When you are doing a video, you're never, you know, never as quick as you hope, really. Okay, well, let's put that to one side, and then just, yeah, just going to pull all of this in for a couple of minutes. Well, that was hot steam coming off of that iron then. Okay. Whew. Right, let me switch the camera off and quickly finish these. Hold on. Right, I'm back. Now I have to say that took such a long time, you wouldn't believe. Honestly, it was just like an endless task. I kind of wished I hadn't started. But never mind, it's all done now. So, yep, we can kind of get on. So, I've got my little scraps here. And then whilst I was, you know, sat painfully with the iron, you know, for all that time, I dug out some other little scraps that we can kind of mix in. Now, greaseproof paper, that's always amazing to use because, of course, you've got that gorgeous crunchy, you know, crunchy sound. So, yeah, I'm going to mix that in. Now, probably want to have that kind of longer than my pieces, if you see what I mean. So kind of like hanging out at the bottom. Now I can obviously trim these up so that they're not, you know, quite so wide. And then what I'm going to do is mix it in with the fabric. So for instance here, I've got this purple fabric. And I'm kind of thinking, you know, mix that in like that. And then what I've got here is, these are some of my little paper tabs, which I was thinking would look, oops, rather nice if we were then able to use some of these, for example, to kind of hold our pieces together. So you've got like then, oops, oh, right. Effectively, what you're going to have is a kind of fabric and paper little, I don't know what you would call it, a kind of roughly paddy type thing. So just going to pull in some other little bits. So I've got some lace here. Now, I have to say, my stapler, unfortunately, my little Tim Holtz stapler, is broken. I know. Ah. Now, I'm filming this way ahead of when I'm planning on putting this up. So by the time that I talk about this, hopefully I will have bought a new one. Well, I have already ordered a new one because it had been kind of playing up for a long time. So I knew it was kind of on its way out. And yeah, it completely broke yesterday. And I just thought, well, I can't bear being without it. So I've ordered myself a new one. So by the time this goes up, you know, hopefully I will have had my new one for ages and won't be moaning about it anymore. But yeah, at this point, I've not got one. So I'm going to have to use just normal, you know, either stapler or glue. So for this, I'm probably going to use glue, just because I'm so rubbish. I now can't find my other stapler, my big one. So I've got here some of that deli paper. Now that deli paper, what I really love about it, can you see, it's kind of aged. Now that's just where it's been laying around in my room. So I've done nothing to that, but it's just, you know, part of the kind of natural deterioration kind of process that happens to it, which I absolutely love because it makes it look quite, you know, quite vintage. And yeah, that's obviously what we want. So that, I'm thinking, oops, let me just cut it down like this. Maybe I will make a better job going in from this edge. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to put this down, I think, here. Right, so let me gather all of my scraps here, like that. Oh, how much could I do with my stapler right now? Can't tell you how much I could do with it. Right, now what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to tear this down slightly more. And then I might tear a little strip off of here. So, like the very bottom strip of that. Right, now, like I say, staplerless, yep. I don't know if there's such word as that, but anyway, we have no stapler. So I'm going to go in with my hot glue. Again, just using my hot glue because it's super quick. Oh, so sorry, that's my doorbell. Hold on 2 seconds. Oh, so sorry about that. That was the postman. It was actually postwoman. So yeah, I just did my usual and kind of asked her, could she just leave it, please? You know, by the door. So she has done. Right, there we go. And then what I'm thinking is maybe have my little strip of fabric here. Hello, gorgeous doggy. Hello. Just got my gorgeous doggy here. And then kind of thinking put the tab across there. I mean, to be honest, now I'm looking at this, I mean, you could even have, oops, you could even have the tab running down the side. Let me just check how I want this. Ooh, maybe. No, I do want the fabric underneath. I suddenly thought, oh, do I want the fabric on the top or the bottom? But I think want it running across the top like that. Okay. Hello, gorgeous. Hello, darling. Come on in. Hello, darling. Just have to quickly make a fuss of my little doggy. Otherwise, she's just lonely and feeling bored and wondering what's going on. Thinking, oh, I've come in since the postman and now I'm just being ignored. Right, so actually thinking could even put the tab on the side. Looks kind of quite pretty, doesn't it? Yeah, let's just mix it up. You know, there's no need to always have to have things on, you know, the always the same, is there? So just going to put a bit of glue along the edge like that. Just need to get another glue stick, so hold on 2 seconds. Oh, are you okay, sweetie pie? Are you a gorgeous girl? Are you gorgeous? Oh, you are gorgeous. Oh, right, so then go in with my glue this side. Just clamp that up. And that's just then a decorative, gorgeous little bit to put in your journals. I mean, obviously you could journal on that. It's a little bit fiddly because you have got obviously those layers kind of, you know, and actually I've made it worse because I've kind of glued them down on two sides, but it still works. It's still absolutely, you know, perfectly workable. You know, could tear these down a little bit more if you wanted to have more of your fabric showing. But, you know, I just think they're super cute, aren't they? And just something a little bit different. I mean, you could use a decorative edge on the bottom of there, you know, to just kind of pretty that up if you wanted to, like some decorative scissors. That would work fine. And actually, I'm just thinking, what did I do with that other bit of lace that I trimmed down? No idea now what I've done with it. Because I thought, well, actually, you could put some more lace down the bottom of there, couldn't you? No, I can't now see that. I mean, how that's disappeared in the space of 30 seconds, or, you know, 5 seconds, 5 minutes. I have no idea. But, you know, if you wanted to finish that off, so let me just pull in a bit more of that lace. So, like that. Okay. Just going to cut this down. So you could then have, you know, a strip of lace going down the bottom, or maybe just on one side, or, you know, maybe on, one of your paper layers. Just so you've got kind of more interest again. So I quite like that actually on that paper layer. So just a little tiny bit there, trim that down like that. How gorgeous does that look? Really, really cute, isn't it? So let's just make a few of those. And then, you know, we've got some bits then ready to go into some journals. So this one, obviously this is from that bunting. So we've got this slightly irregular kind of thing going on with this. So I'm just wondering how to get the maximum. It might even be that I'm best off going this way, or actually this way probably. So yeah, going to have to take it down like that, I think. Are you okay, sweetie? Oh, she's bored, bless her. She is bored. Oh, I'm sorry, darling. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. I know, I'm so boring, aren't I? So boring. I know, I'm sorry. Right, so we're bringing another piece of the paper. So what we could do, because I've obviously got quite an irregular, you know, shape going on here. Oops, no. Sometimes the fabric needs to be a certain way to tear, doesn't it? You know, you've got to kind of tear on the correct sort of core side of the fabric. So obviously was not on the correct side of the fabric there, was I? Right, let's go in like this. So I'm thinking put that there. We've got some of that gorgeous greaseproof paper again, so we can go in like that. And then here, could probably just have that up there, and I will just then be able to trim that down. So I'm just going to glue this across here. Okay, let's glue that down there. I mean, you could stitch these on the sewing machine, to be honest. That would also be a really nice way to finish these off. I mean, again, you know, I'm just not really doing that because my camera's not kind of set up over by the sewing machine. But that would be an alternative to using lots of layers of glue or to using staples, you know, is just kind of take your sewing machine or take them to your sewing machine. Now, I've got that sort of antique-y lace, which I'm wondering whether we could incorporate a bit of that. So let me just take this down here. Just see. It's a bit weird, isn't it? But I don't think I really like that, to be honest. Let me just see whether if I have a tab. So I'll just take one of my little tabs here. not too bad. Oh, quite like it in the middle actually. So yeah, let's just run that straight across the middle. Pop that there. Hello, gorgeous. I know, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so boring. I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. She is bored, bored, bored. She does not obviously like the crafting like we do. Okay, like that. So yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it? Now I'm just going to try and tear this across here. There we go. That's better. I just much prefer, you know, that torn kind of edge rather than the straight edge where I've cut it with the scissors. I think it looks, you know, way nicer with the torn edge, doesn't it? So that's another one. Okay, right, let's take in another piece. So we've got this one here. So again, this has got obviously now this irregular shape going on. So just tear that down here. Like that, okay. And then bring in my paper. Oops. Right, so this one, maybe I would be better off having the fabric over the top. Let's just have a look. Or perhaps I could kind of stagger it around, or perhaps I could cut this edge off so as we make this narrower. That would probably be better. Just take that bottom bit off as well. That's better, isn't it? Okay, and then just, you know, bring in any old stuff. I mean, these are just some of my faux stamped images which are printed just straight onto, you know, copy paper thickness, and I've just coffee dyed that. So you can just layer those up like this. Okay, although I have coffee dyed it, I'll just ink it up a bit more. Just because actually that coffee dye seemed very, very dark, didn't it? So yeah, a bit more there. Okay, and then did we want a little bit of that fabric at all? Up there. No, I don't think we do. No. And then a tab for this one. Okay, just going to cut this down because otherwise perhaps it's a bit big. Okay, just ink that up. Okie dokie. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous does that look? Now I'm just wondering with this one actually whether I could have this vellum in there as well. Okay. So I hope everyone's having a good day. Maybe you are doing some crafting. I hope you're having a nice time. Oh, please share below. Are you scrap busting along? So if you are, how's it going? Are you actually getting anywhere? Is your stash kind of, you know, diminishing, or is it just looking just as stashy as ever? Okay, so I'm going to have this like this. So, oh, wondering if the dog needs to go out because she's certainly trying to get my attention a lot today. So I might have to stop the video and see if she wants to go out. I'm just going to quickly glue this down. Maybe with a bit of lace up there as well. So, you know, just using the scraps as they are on the desk like that. Okay. Hold on. Did you want to go out, sweetie? Yeah? Should I go let you out? There we go. Like that. I mean, how cute does that look? Absolutely gorgeous. So, right, I'm just going to put that to one side. I'm going to let the dog out and then I'll be back in a minute. Right, sorry about that. Okay, hopefully we are now able to get on. So, yeah, let's just take this down here. So, I think probably go along here. Like that. And just, yeah, go up this side. Like that. Okay. And then here, in the front section, oh, that's got damaged with the coffee dyeing process. But, I mean, again, you know, things like that, they don't really kind of matter, to be honest. You know, they're not kind of a really big deal. I'm just going to cut that portion off of there. And that gives us then 2 pieces to work with instead of 1. So we've got that. I'm just going to put it in with some book page. So just going to take this little section here. Just cut that down. Okie dokie. Like that. Oh my goodness, how yummy is this looking? I love the look of this one, I must say. Very, very, very pretty. And then I'm just thinking, could we have another strip of that fabric at the top? Or I mean, we could even make the tab from that. So let's glue this one down like that. Oh no, that is the door again. Would you believe it? Hold on. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's just honestly one of those days. You know when you just have those days. It's one of them. So yeah, I do apologise for that. Right, let's cut these down. Oh. Okay, right. So I'm going to go here like this. Were we going to have some lace on this one or not? No, I don't think we were. Like that, and then I'm just going to put this over here. Okay. So how cute is that? Love how that looks. That's so gorgeous. I'm not sure that I like this edge actually, so I'm going to go in and just trim this all up so it's all kind of flatter on that edge. Yeah, I wasn't really liking that edge much, but how gorgeous is that? I love that. Right, okay, let's go in now with some more. So I'm just having a look to see what fabrics I've got left. Right, here we go. Yeah, it's turned out to be one of those days. I obviously sat down to do the video. It looked, you know, it was all looking good. And now, of course, like all these things, you know, best laid plans and all that, it's just all gone out the window, so I'm so sorry. Right, okay. Let's turn that like that, and okay. Then take that greaseproof paper. I love using the greaseproof paper. I mean, I forget to use it. I've got to be truthful. I do forget to use it, and I wish I didn't, because it's such a nice thing to use, and it really does add such a lot of, you know, character. You know, that crunch is just like, wow, absolutely love it. So, oops, like that. I'll just trim that down at the top. Okay. There we go, and right, let's just see. Just wondering if I've got anything else that I want to add. I mean, this obviously, you know, fell apart during the coffee dyeing process, but that's fine. So I could tear that bottom bit off. We could just include that there. So that's quite nice. Maybe even another sheet of this. So yeah, let's take that, hold that in. Right. Okay. Just take this. I might ink this one up a little bit. This is that deli paper, so, you know, as I showed you just now, it does discolour over time, this, you know, which I absolutely love about it. So to be honest, by clamping this in here, you know, over time, this will actually kind of discolour, and then it will look, you know, more kind of in keeping with the rest of the project. So just kind of putting it in there like that. Okay. And then, loving these tabs, I must say. These are all just made with papers from my Victorian gallery. But don't they look gorgeous? They're quite a neutral one, so they're a brilliant one to kind of just have ready to use. Absolutely love them. Now, I've just got this tiny little scrap of that fabric there. So I'm just wondering whether we could have, you know, or maybe just like hanging down. Oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Right, let's put the tab on. Okay, like that. Okie dokie. Like that. And then here. Thinking kind of, you know, could we have this fabric going across the top? Just tying the theme of the fabric in, because obviously this was a scrap bust in with our fabrics, wasn't it? So yeah, just bringing the fabric back in there on the front piece. So that's that one. Okay, right, let's take this piece here. Yeah, probably take it down this way. Okie dokie. Oops. I have to just trim that edge off slightly. Okay. And then, yeah, bring this in. And then just take this here. Okay. And the same with this. I mean, this one will discolour over time, and you know, the discolouring, I think, you know, that's going to make it kind of blend in better with the fabric and the paper and things. So, you know, it's all kind of good, really. It's all a good thing. So I'll just take this one in here. Like that. And then I did really like the look of that little fabric tab that we did. So I might do another fabric tab on this. So just put this one like this and just see, do I want any other paper? Well, that's not really going to show up, so yeah, probably a bit pointless putting that one there. Okay, so yeah, let's put this one down here. Okay, and this one. Okie dokie. So like that, and then this fabric, we're going to just take this down here to make our little fabric tab. Maybe cut that down slightly because perhaps it's a bit big at the minute. Okay. Yeah, I mean, how cute does that look? So we're just tying in the fabric from the, you know, from the back to the front. So like that. And then here. Like that. Oh my goodness, how yummy and gorgeous does this look? So yeah, absolutely love, love, love how that's all looking. Okay, right, let's go in with this. So we haven't got much fabric left to use now, so I'm just going to go in here. Did we do it this way last time, or did we do it? across. I can't remember, to be honest. Anyway, I'm going to do this one like this. So take it down here on that side. Okey-dokey, right. Might just keep these just in case we want to do one of those fabric tabs again on here, because I really love how they look. They look very, very cute, don't they? And I do love that torn look. So, oh, this is going against the, you know, the threads. So it's, of course, not wanting to really tear that way, which is a bit of a shame. Okay. Do you know, I just had this horrible feeling. I heard the door again for a minute. I thought, I don't believe it. What is going on with my front door today? Just a constant stream of, you know, people coming to the door. Okay. So, yeah. That one. Okey-dokey. Like that. And then I'm just going to trim it across here because it's a bit kind of like uneven across the top there. Yeah. And then let's do a fabric tab here. So, that's a bit annoying, isn't it? My fabric. Well, I'll have to kind of make do with this one. So it's a little bit funny, but it will be okay. So, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, a little bit strange, but it's okay. So I'm going to just put that one down there. Like that. Oops. And then just a little bit of glue here. Definitely, I mean, the fabric tabs just kind of like, they're just a bit of, you know, tying it all together, aren't they? They bring in this sort of finishing touch. Now, I'm just thinking, just to also bring in the finishing touch, I'm wondering whether I could have a little bit of bling. So let me just have a look in my bling container. Kind of thinking just a little bit to the side. Just there, like that. How gorgeous does that look? I mean, that bling just literally finishes that off, doesn't it? So, yeah, absolutely love the addition of the bling. Okay, right, we are down to just our last couple of bits of fabric now. So we've been doing really well, getting rid of a lot of this fabric. I mean, you know, not that it's barely made a dent, obviously, in, you know, my fabric stash, obviously, but, you know, you've got to start somewhere, haven't you? So it's all a sort of process, isn't it, that you've got to go through. So I'll just cut that down a bit because obviously it was a little bit wide for the piece. Take my sheet here. Okay. And just cut that down about there. Okay. Roll that across. Oops, dear. That's not a good edge there. It looked pretty wonky and rubbish, didn't it? Okay. Yeah, that looks good, like that. And then this one, actually, I hadn't realised I've actually got this whole section of that fabric left. So we could make a fabric tab for this. We could also have another layer of the fabric. So I'm going to do a tab. Cut that across there. Okay, oops. Like that. Okay. Like that. And then I'm thinking we could also probably have section, or yeah, not a section, but you know, another little hangy layer here. So like that. Like that. That looks quite pretty, doesn't it? And then, do we need any other bits of paper, I wonder, on there? Just see, maybe another portion. So I'm just going to take this one down here. And I love it when you can just kind of cut chunks out of things, you know, so you can kind of have odds and ends. Right, so that I'm going to glue across here. And here, like that. Okay, and then this little piece here, just put, I think, to the side a little bit, like that. And then the whole thing, just have that cute fabric tab there. Yeah, probably just in the middle. So it's a bit like a little clipboard then. It's got an appearance of a clipboard, I think. Okay, one. And then here. Okay. Oh, how cute does that look? And then I'm just going to see if, like the other one, it could just benefit from a bit of bling. You know, maybe it looks okay without it. I don't know. Just got a little pearly bit of trim there. Put that onto the side. There we go. How gorgeous does that look? So, yeah. Okay, right, we are down to our last bit of fabric now. So quite a long piece, obviously not thinking we're going to be able to use all of this. So we can either do 2, or I could save the rest for another project. Probably better to do 2, because I'm thinking otherwise, you know, I'm straight away just going down that same track of actually not really getting rid of anything much at all. I'm kind of still then having scraps laying around. So yeah, perhaps we will make 2. So let's just layer them up at the same time, shall we? So yeah, that one. Let's cut that bit off. Okay, right, and then here, so we can have this one. I'm not actually over keen on that edge, to be honest, so I'm going to take that edge down anyway. And maybe just take that down. Okay, looks better over there. I don't know why, but yeah, for some reason I just thought it did look better over there. This little bit here. Okay. Oh, how cute does that look? And then, oh, that was that piece of scrap lace, you know, that I said, oh, what happened to that piece of lace? That's what happened to it. It just kind of got lost somewhere on the desk. Right, just thinking, could we have this here, you know, on its side? Yeah, something like that. Now, got this little piece here. So, I mean, again, and when I have things like this, I quite like to take chunks that you can kind of use individually. So, for instance, there, and then just tear this section down. So anywhere where it looks like it's an individual little sort of row of text, then I think they're quite nice to be able to use them like individually. So like that, it's a way of creating layers, you know, whilst using up little odds and pieces of scraps. So that one, this one here, just put down here like that, and then this just across at the top like that. Okay, and then just straight across here. Like that, and love that lace on there. That's just so pretty, isn't it? Just, yeah, love how that lace looks. Very, very pretty. And then do we want to have a little tab on here, and I think? Okay, let's just take this one down slightly because perhaps it's a little bit too big at the minute. I just love having all these things ready-made that you can just pull in, because it just makes making things so much quicker and easier than if I was having to then dig out paper, you know, make some tabs and, you know, find a paper that goes. It's just brilliant to have things ready-made, ready to go like that. It's yeah, just makes everything so much quicker. Okay, I mean, like I say, this has not really made a dent in my fabric, if I'm truthful, you know. But it just happened to be that there was, like, you know, these few fabrics kind of sat on their own, and I thought, well, actually, they're just kind of sat on their own. Perhaps they will be a good stash busting kind of thing, because then that's just one little tiny pile that's gone. So, yeah, although it's not kind of technically, you know, I haven't been and grabbed some of my old stash as per the other episodes, it is still actually that, you know, they've been used up now. So they are technically, you know, things that, yeah, kind of needed to be used, and they're no longer laying around now. So that's all good. Just got this bit of paper bag here, so we could even have a portion of that, and I'm thinking I could bend that over like that, and that gives us then sort of another layer. So pop that on like that, and then here glue these two bits down, so that one and here, and then that layer there. Oops. Like that. Oh, looking good, looking good, looking good. And then just trim that down across the top, or maybe I'll just leave it. Just want to see if I want to use this anywhere. Did we use this on the last one? I can't remember whether we did or not, to be honest. I actually quite like this, weirdly enough. So I'm going to just take down this little section here. I wonder if I can actually pull it. Yeah, pull it apart from that fabric. Oops, like that. Kind of nice, isn't it? Just to give a sort of tatty kind of, you know, rusticy look. So yeah, quite like that. Might even put it sideways on, glued down there. And then let's just get another one of those tabs. Yeah, I could have done with some lilac tabs, which of course that would have been way too convenient, wouldn't it, to have actually had some lilac ones there. But just have a quick check that I haven't, because I mean I could have buried in amongst all of this stuff, to be honest. No, that's not quite right. I've got this, which has got the red. Let me just ink this up and see what this would look like, because obviously we have got that red in those flowers, haven't we? So it's not kind of completely beyond the realms of what's going on the rest of it. So let's check. I mean, it's a different look, isn't it? But it does look quite pretty. So let's go for it, because yeah, let's just kind of have some different looks going on. So like that, and then here. On the back. Okay, yeah. I just suddenly spotted I've got one of my bright butterflies there. So, I mean, to be honest, oh no, they're decorated up tabs. Yeah. Just wondering whether we might want to have any of the butterflies. What's that one? On any of these. So I'm just going to quickly pop these away. So they're gone from the desk. Right, let's have a look and see the ones that we've done, and then we can just gauge whether we want to add any of the butterflies. So, I mean, really pretty, aren't they? And they're just kind of incorporating, obviously, the fabric with some scraps. And, you know, I mean, look at them. We've made a ton of these, haven't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, 9's quite a lot, isn't it? That we've just quickly rustled up, and, you know, they've come together in kind of no time whatsoever, haven't they, really? So, yeah, nice, quick, easy one. Quite like that on there. So yeah, let's just go for that. It's just a butterfly from my bright butterflies you know, set. And then that one maybe on there, or maybe even down there onto the like sort of pad type section itself, or you know, the paper type section. Aren't they gorgeous? They're just so cute, aren't they? And, you know, you could just then either clip them onto a page, you know, with a paper clip kind of, or a bulldog clip, or you could just run some glue and just glue them straight onto a page. So, I mean, they're just a really cute little piece. And obviously this one, like you can see, is massive compared to, like, say, this one. So, I mean, you could just go with the size scraps that you've got. So if you've got much bigger scraps of fabric and you want to get rid of them quite quickly, you could make some big ones. If you're working with tiny scraps, you can always make them kind of much smaller. You know, and I think they're just going to come in handy with all sorts of different projects, aren't they? So, yeah, I really hope that you like them, and hope you feel inspired. Let me know below how it's going if you are joining in with the stash busting. How is your stash going? Are you actually getting through it? Or like me, is your stash not really looking any different? Yeah, let me know below, and yeah, hope you feel inspired. Have fun if you decide to make some of these, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.